Hello everyone and welcome to the third and final round of the 2024 Samui Swine Classic 11 presented by Latitude 64. We're back here on the island of Samui, PDGA's own Shasta Criss, along with Philo Brathwaite, just one stroke behind him, and a regular now, Boucher, and closing it out from Finland, Jarno. All the action. This is the front 9, or should I say front 11, and special guest, three-time world champion. He's been in Thailand, but it wasn't for the disc golf. I've got Nate Doss with me. Nate, welcome.
Terry, it's amazing to be here for the final round. This is an incredible battle. You have Philo, who is the defending champion, who's won many times here, and Shasta, who would love to be the champion. It's going to be a great finishing round. And
really, to follow that up, Shasta's also a defending champion. He took it down in MP40 last year, and now has, so to speak, moved up to MPO. And we know both him and Philo are Masters eligible. And just one stroke apart with 22 holes left to play. Good start there for Shasta.
Yeah, and they've played now 2 rounds, and you can see Shasta's at 30 under, so you got to go low if you want to win this tournament.
Right side tree hit for Philo. And Boucher comes in at 23 under. I met Evan at this event last year, ended up filming him here, and then when we went into Chiang Mai, watched him finish in the top 4 there as well. Yappy, good old Jarno, doing some work on hole 1.
Just 144 feet. You know, you want to start your round off with a birdie here. Big putt here for Philo, just to keep the momentum beginning of the round.
And you don't want to have to putt from that distance. That's about circle's edge. Nonetheless, it's going to be a birdie on the scorecard.
And there's just something about making a big putt on the first hole, kind of gets you going, especially in the final round. Let's see if Shasta can follow it up. Nice.
Big shout out to the boat bar, as you see on hole number 1. Shasta this year taking over my honors of winning the putting competition at the boat bar. So kind of cool getting out there and getting it done. I went into a playoff with Philo last year, ended up taking him down, and this year I was like, I'm going to enjoy these chocolate beverages rather than actually compete. So Shasta was the winner, and then he graciously turned around and donated almost all the prizes. You know, because that's a Shasta thing to do, as you see a star frame to get started. I'll say it for the 10th time or the 100th time. Huge shout out to Latitude 64. This event, a major success due to Latitude's presenting sponsorship. It's incredible. As we're at 269 for hole number 2, I've talked about it. The forehand, if you're a righty player, seems to be the best route in order to get up the gap and then have it finish to the right. And Shasta's still dealing with some swelling on his hand after some kind of stinging hornet or something that he experienced. And it looks like the forehand's going to work out here for him on hole 2.
Yeah, very technical hole here on 2. And as you said, Terry, that sidearm just allows it to finish to the right. Get over to that basket. Nice shot there by Shasta.
Plenty of speed on that by Philo, but gets hung up. So he'll be short. Stays inbounds, though. Evan, if it's not obvious, has a little bit of an ultimate background. Forehands are his specialty. That'll put him on the dance floor.
A lot of times with ultimate players, the run-up looks a little different because they're so used to playing standstill. Right, you know, you can't really run up an ultimate. You got to stand still. But Evan's got a nice little shot there, and Jarno, he'll be up there for a putt as well.
So the long-range bid by Philo is likely going to result in a par. And this time, even though we've seen some struggles here on 2 from Shasta, this time he's not even going to give it a run, as he's kind of pinched off. Feels good to pick up a birdie here.
So, I mean, we're really looking at a battle for first as well as third here. If you look at the scores between Evan and Jarno, so tale of two battles going on here.
And you'll notice Evan really doesn't take any distance for granted whatsoever, always going through his routine, pretty methodical in doing such. Going with that straddle putt and picks up a birdie. Him and Jarno match. Shasta will maintain a one-stroke advantage as they head to the third hole. From one island to another here on Samui, 194 feet for hole number 3. As you see the flags denote where the road is, but then there's an OB rope right there that we just flew over. And if you go deep here, which is the most common mistake, you can go out of bounds long, and anything that doesn't land on the island goes immediately to the drop zone.
Speed control obviously critical here on hole 3. It can be difficult trying to navigate through these trees, but keeping the nose up so that you're not powering past the basket like you were saying, Terry, finding out of bounds. And that looked like it found out of bounds short left. Terry, I've been playing disc golf with Shasta Criss for over 15 years. Of course, Shasta in Santa Cruz, and I grew up in Santa Cruz as well. He's one of the best players in the short range. He's very, very good. He's a good putter as well, and that's why we see him leading here. Nice shot by Philo as well.
Yeah, if I kept stats, I would tell you that we've only seen him maybe let his putter hit the ground 2 or 3 times in the first 2 rounds, in the first 44 holes. And Jarno, big mistake here, going after the par save and going out of bounds again. So now you'll play it from where he was last in bounds, but that's going to be a double OB, and a 5, as in double bogey, is most likely. And we talk all the time, hole 3 is just, it feels like it's usually either a 2 or a 4. You get on the island, you probably make the putt, you probably get the birdie. You miss it, you almost guaranteed at least a 4. So we're seeing the swing and then some for Jarno there with taking the double bogey.
Yeah, there's just enough distance on that putt from the drop zone that you got to give it enough juice to where this line comes into play. And that's where that double OB can come into play.
The rest of the card, though, making pretty light work of it. And so you see 3 2s and then a 5 by Jarno.
And Boucher, say it, Terry.
Boucher.
Boucher, he's taking a commanding lead now.
Yeah, he's out in front. As we head over to hole number 4, this is different than what you saw in 2023. You used to think like getting to this flag where the foot golf is was a good shot. Now we have a road that is OB and then a second island that you have to get onto. And it plays as a par 4. It's the only par 4 on the course. And anything out in the open there, considered good.
Nice camera work.
I just panned to the basket, and surprisingly, I didn't crash the drone. I said that, I think, in round number 1 as Shasta gets about halfway down there. I managed to do all the drone previews myself. Normally, I rely on smarter, better drone flyers. These aren't perfect, but I've also seen worse work. So I'm pretty happy with the drone work to give you guys these whole previews as Philo gets caught up.
It's like we always say, Terry, you don't have to be the best. You just have to be getting better. And in this case,
I'll take that.
You're doing that.
I mean, last year I crashed my drone and broke it. So I improved on that considerably. It was right out in this very field where Shasta is right now.
So not a terrible life for Shasta. A really nice recovery. Not in the ideal position, but makes the island.
Yeah, he's within 15 feet and still has the birdie look, which is exactly all you're playing for here. Little flare for Philo. He doesn't love it, but it's going to be perfectly fine.
Now, what does the dog think, Terry?
The dog-eat-dog world out
So
there.
is that just a local?
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's dogs, there's geese, there's chickens, there's buffalo, lots of spiders. The monkeys retrieve coconuts. I've seen that on site. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on out here.
What a time. Oh, and he's safe, just barely. Kind of a must make, I would imagine here. You could see it in his reaction. He really knew how big that putt was. Fortunately, probably going to give up another shot.
Light work for Philo. Again, Philo, the 4-time champion here and defending champ from 2023. Shasta, short range birdie.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, Shasta is certainly perplexed by that. You saw him handle it pretty well. Nothing of that nature has happened at any point this weekend from what we've seen.
Wow, Evan really sticks to the plan. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but
yeah, it doesn't matter the range.
Exactly.
He goes through the routine, and we're going to take another first light look at this putt by Shasta.
there's really not much to say here, Terry. It was dead center. It just got a little bit too much of the pole there.
As we head now over to hole number 5, 312 feet, the second longest hole on the course. And often we see players play off to this left side and then kind of get it to drift back to the right. You have OB on the left where the little stream and river could come into play, as well as OB deep of the pin.
Yeah, it's a really good green here on 5. And that's a pretty good shot from Evan. I like this hole because of the fact that there's so many technical gaps to hit, but then you got to control the speed out at 312 feet.
Yeah, and Philo throughout the years, I feel like, has had this one dialed in, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. The sand on the green really acts as a brake mechanism for anything that is coming in hot usually. It's a little mid-range action for Philo.
Wow. So Shasta, the leader, coming into the round, a little bit of trouble. That missed putt, not of his own fault, but bad tee shot. Good tree.
That second tree keeps Jarno in bounds. And with Shasta and Philo all knotted up now after 4 holes, he's got to be thinking about, man, that lead he's worked so hard to get, and likely going to give it up with Philo at least on the dance floor looking for a birdie.
It's so difficult going up against the defending champion in these scenarios and a guy who's won here 4 times total because he has that extra bit of confidence because he's been in that situation before. Shasta's got some work ahead of him.
Great drive. Pays off for Evan there. Now, Evan's 5 under through 5.
I was going to say, he is perfect.
Yeah, kind of quietly doing as much because we're so concerned about the leaders, but just like that, 5 for 5 to start. And the hottest round of the tournament, you guys have seen it. It was Shasta opening round at 17 under. He followed that up with a 13 under. And just like that, Philo, for the first time in the tournament, your leader.
We got a battle, Terry. This is what it's all about.
I mean, you really come to Thailand for the sun and the beaches and a couple of Leos and some of that other fun. But you're right. We're here for the golf, I suppose.
I mean, it's only a few hours out of the day that you got to play disc golf.
That's
and you might
true.
as well have some fun doing it.
Yeah, as we look at 197, this was a new hole added last year. A little forehand for most players. You got to navigate left of the Mando and make sure you get over the creek, because if you come up short, you go immediately to the drop zone. Oh no, we just jinxed him.
And I was just about to say, shockingly here on 6, the creek comes into play more than you would think. Even though it's not that far of a shot, anything short that hits, that's a beautiful shot by Philo. But anything that hits around that creek area, everything funnels down to it.
Can easily fall backward for sure now. Let's see what Shasta can do. He catches one of the branches.
You can just see it on Shasta's face. That added level of stress. Philo's cruising right now.
Good positioning for Jarno. So this is the drop zone.
What do you got here, about 80?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, somewhere between, I would say, 66 and 80. So 20 to 25 meters. Shasta's bid doesn't connect with any metal. Meanwhile, Philo, another birdie look. And to extend the lead by 2.
Yeah, and he's cruising now. I mean, you know, at this point, he's only parred just one hole. And so if you're Shasta, you just have to make good shots, try to make birdies, and hope Philo makes a mistake. Nice birdie from Jarno as well.
Holes 6, 7, and 8 were all kind of a redesign of 2023. And now in 2024, we're seeing that 9, 10, and 11 have slight redesigns, as I love to pan over to one of the higher spots out here on the island. And big shout out to our friends over at Flying Plate. 253 feet. OB the entire left side of the fairway. And if you go too far deep, you can go out of bounds. And also off to the right, that's that same creek that is now running the opposite direction. Well, the creek runs the same way as it always was, but we're playing the hole the opposite direction.
And this is a neighboring property?
It is one of the neighbors' property.
It's all kind of a family affair in the area.
It really is, and so gracious and kind that we have this opportunity to be utilizing this space. Here's Philo.
Wow, what a shot by Philo.
I didn't think I was going to do all that. Wow.
Basket hunting. Near ace, and now you're Shasta, and you're thinking, oh my.
Yes.
What is going on here? This guy's just firing on all cylinders. Can I even, how do I keep up with it, right?
It's the hardest thing to do, but Shasta just has to stay in his own game and execute. Because he got to the lead by making great shots. Wow. Oh, my goodness, Terry.
Yeah, that barely stays inbounds.
Does it really?
It does, but this goes back to Shasta and dealing with his hand. We've seen him throw a forehand here a couple times and get the birdie, but he's been dealing with some swelling on his right throwing hand. And so that's why I think we saw him go to the backhand as opposed to dealing with the pinch that he's not getting with a forehand.
Wow. So Shasta is it's a tough spot.
Yeah, you kind of have a standing rule out here that you never want to take 2 pars in a row.
Exactly.
At any point on this course, 2 pars in a row means you're probably, not doing something right. And now Shasta's got a couple of them in a row. And meanwhile, Philo, like you said, is just cruising.
And I think if I calc it out, I mean, this will be 4 pars in a row for Shasta from that short miss putt. Do I have that right, or am I missing something? But 3 or 4 in a row here, and Philo's done nothing but birdie. By no means is it over for Shasta, but he needs to somehow apply a little bit of pressure to Philo that it's not just going to be easy from here to the finish.
Yeah, when you have so many, every hole can be birdied, you just can't give anybody a lot of breathing room. As we head over to hole number 8, nice gentle hyzer. There's really, I'll say, 3 lines that we've seen. You have a low line that's going to rely on a skip. You have a mid line, which is usually where Shasta's been throwing. Then you have a really high line where it's just stalling and falling out of the sky. And that's usually the route we've seen from Philo here. Just put it way up and next to the pin.
He's on fire. The old NBA Jam. He's on fire.
He's on fire.
Exactly.
Yeah, little Sega action. Evan right there as well. And one of the most memorable parts of this tournament is the blue or red chairs, the lawn chairs. Everybody grabs, and you kind of just walk yourself around this course as a spectator. They're all over there by hole 5 and 6 area, and they've got front row seats for the next 2 or 3 holes right from where they are, and we love it. Wow, 4 great drives.
And most importantly, a solid jive for Shasta. Putting himself in position. Nice putt there by Evan. You can see the other 3 guys are in tap-in range.
Wow, so Evan is 6 under, and that's with a bogey.
Exactly. He's played amazing. And that bogey became, because of an out of bounds.
Philo, 7 under through 8. This will bring Shasta to 3 under through 8.
You have to wonder, too, when Shasta had a bounce out from maybe a meter behind where he just putted from. How much of that goes through your mind as you're going through the round, even on those short putts?
Maybe a little bit tentative as we thank our friends over there at Singapore Disc Golf Club. 233 feet. This is a new look for hole 9. 9 and 10 play pretty similar. You're trying to go basically straight up the middle, and it's going to end on the right-hand side. Just have to avoid a few of these final trees. If you go way too deep and you punch it hard, you could go out of bounds deep of the pin. Shasta's had this one dialed in, and Philo has had a few struggles in the first couple of rounds, but that's still going to give him a putt. At 233, doesn't take much to get to the pin.
And if you're Shasta, this is the slight crack in the door that if Shasta could put it inside Philo, just put just the slightest amount of pressure, because you're 3 shots back, and we're almost halfway through the tournament, or the final round, I should say.
Workable for Jarno. I spoke on it earlier in the weekend. Shasta's got like 4 discs.
That's perfect.
And this is the one that he's been relying on more than any other.
And not that this putt coming from Philo is going to be that difficult, but it's the cumulative thing. If Shasta can continually put himself inside of Philo, it just makes it a little bit more tricky for Philo to make that putt.
That's something to think about, so to speak.
And it's 3 holes from now, 4 holes from now. Shasta's always inside of Philo, that maybe it adds up.
Yeah, he's now at 8 under for the round through 9, trying to defend that title he picked up in 2023. Not by much, but it's in. Just a little extra hip thrust. I'll take it. I see you, Evan.
7 down through 9 holes with a bogey.
So no ground is gained by Shasta with the birdie, even though he was closest to the pin. Big thanks to our friends at Zing Mini as we head now the exact opposite direction. We just kind of turn around, do a 180, and head back down for hole 10, 249 feet. So just 16 feet longer than the previous hole. But if you throw the exact same shot, you know, Shasta was 16 feet deep on the last hole. So if he throws the exact same shot, he's going to be right there for a birdie luck. Philo, however, has really liked that center tree there, and he misses it.
It goes a little long right of the pin. I just got a comment, Terry, at how well this place is manicured. It just looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's nothing but love to Luke Butch, along with the crew that he has assembled to get all of Samui Disc Golf just looking pristine. So we appreciate that.
Wow, Jarno just playing around? I mean, why go so high?
Yeah, I feel like I saw a couple players think, hey, let's take the trees out of play and kind of play like a drop stall shot, something like a berg or something of that nature. There's been some creativity out there for sure.
Gonna have to make a long putt for Shasta. Here's Jarno. Oh, great effort.
So with 11 holes, the question for you guys to answer in the comment section, as we see,
This is a huge putt.
it really is. Shasta circles edge.
Give it to him. Wow.
Off the top.
I mean, this is an opportunity for Philo to take a dominant lead heading into the back 11. Wow.
Yeah, this is by far the largest of leads that he's seen. This is a 4-stroke lead with 12 holes left to play.
I mean, if you got live odds right now, they're so heavily favored in Philo's side of things.
Yeah.
4 shots, nearly half the round over. Going to take some work from Shasta. Not out of the realm of possibility. Still, a lot of work ahead of Shasta. And honestly, for Shasta, he's got to get a little lucky, too. I mean, Philo has to make a few mistakes.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, he's 9 under through 10 holes. Like, sometimes there's just not enough you can do when somebody's going to just take commanding control here, right?
Yeah, and you think about Shasta. He shot 17 down in the first round. He knows that that's what Philo could be doing here.
As we head into the final hole of the front 11 before they do one more lap. This one's moved. Used to be on the right side. Now it's going to play as a backhand hyzer off to the left side. You want to really just miss that foot golf flag and becoming hyzering just over the top of it, so to speak. Maybe a skip to the pin.
More good camera work here from our cameraman. Oh,
We should give that guy a raise.
we really should.
Philo connects early, makes it through the initial gap, but hits just after it.
This is the opportunity that Shasta's been waiting for. I got to hand it to Evan. What a front 11 holes. Another great shot.
And coincidentally, I think Shasta is currently 0 for 4 on this in the first 2 rounds. Just something has got him caught up or has provided a struggle.
I mean, it's a tricky shot. You got to hit this initial gap. You got to miss a few trees late. Can he make the adjustment? It looks nice out of the hand. Oh, the crowd likes it, Terry.
So that's the question for you guys is, would an 11-hole course, as Philo lays it up, no look to it, would an 11-hole course entice you or sway you away from playing it? When you're on U-Disc or you're traveling around, maybe you're trying to get in as many courses as you can around a country or in a region of the world. How do you feel about 11 holes? A lot of people ask for an expansion here. I don't think it's coming anytime soon, but how do you feel about an 11-hole layout? leave that in the comments as Jarno squanders his par opportunity away. And that's going to be a little bit frustrating. It feels like his putting is either really on or really off. That's what I've seen from him in the last couple of years.
My opinion on that question, Terry, that you just posed is I want to play the best holes available. If the property gives you 11 holes, let's just play 11. We can play it twice, but to try to force 18 into an area that is a really nice 11 holes doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
All right, well, leave it. I appreciate the insight. Leave it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Big shout out to all the transition sponsors you've seen in between the holes as Evan picks up another birdie. He goes 9 under through the 11. And thank you to Latitude 64 and Luke and crew. Shasta, like you said, an opportunity now.
Just think, this is the distance of the bounce out from earlier.
Not a problem. So Shasta, who came in as your leader by a stroke, will have a 3-stroke deficit with 11 holes left to play. I'm excited for the action. Again, do all the YouTube things. Like, share, and subscribe. For Nate Doss.
Hit that bell icon.
Hit the bell? Yeah, ring the bell when you're at the bar as well. Treat everybody to a round over at Samui Disc Golf. We'll see you guys for the final 11 holes.